Ever wonder why over 1 billion people across the globe practice Islam? It's an intriguing question, isn't it? And one that can't be answered in a sentence or two. Islam, one of the world's largest religions, is a faith practiced in all corners of the globe, from the bustling cities of Asia to the quiet corners of Europe, from the vast landscapes of Africa to the diverse cultures of the Americas. It's a faith that transcends borders, ethnicity, and languages. The principles and teachings of Islam are rich, complex, and deeply rooted in history. Today, we're going to delve into these principles, explore the teachings, and unravel the essence of this widely practiced faith. We're not just going to scratch the surface, but delve deep into the heart of Islam. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of why Islam is such a widely practiced faith. At the heart of Islam are the 5 pillars, which are the foundational practices of the faith. These pillars are not just rituals, but rather, they are the guiding principles that shape a Muslim's life. The first pillar is Shahada, the declaration of faith. It is a simple yet profound statement. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. This statement affirms a Muslim's belief in the oneness of God and acceptance of Muhammad as God's prophet. It's the cornerstone of Islamic faith, setting the stage for all other beliefs and practices. Next, we have Salat, the ritual prayer performed 5 times a day. Each prayer is a moment of personal connection with the divine, a time for reflection and spiritual rejuvenation. It's not just about the physical act of prayer, but also about cultivating mindfulness and gratitude. The third pillar, Zakat, is the practice of giving. It's a mandatory charitable contribution, usually 2.5% of a Muslim's total savings, given to the poor and needy. By giving zakat, Muslims are reminded of the importance of compassion, generosity, and social responsibility. Then there's Sawm, the fast observed during the holy month of Ramadan. From dawn to sunset, Muslims abstain from food, drink, and other physical needs. It's a time of purification, self-discipline, and empathy for those less fortunate. Lastly, there's the Hajj, the pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca. Every Muslim who is physically and financially able is required to make this journey at least once in their lifetime. It's a powerful communal experience, symbolizing unity, humility, and the shared journey of faith. These 5 pillars, Shahada, Salat, Zakat, Sawm, and Hajj, are more than just religious obligations. They are a roadmap for a meaningful and balanced life, a guide to personal growth and spiritual fulfillment. They are about acknowledging the divine, cultivating a mindful and compassionate lifestyle, and being part of a global community of faith. These pillars are the bedrock of a Muslim's life, guiding their actions and their relationship with the divine. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, is more than just a text. It's a guide for life. For Muslims the world over, the Quran is a beacon of enlightenment, a manual for living a moral and ethically sound life. It's not just a book, rather it's a compass that points the way to a path of righteousness and peace. The Quran's teachings encompass a vast range of topics, from morality and ethics to spirituality. It lays out principles for a just society, one that upholds the dignity and worth of every individual. It advocates for a system where justice is not just a concept, but a practice embedded in daily life. The Quran places a strong emphasis on morality. It outlines a code of conduct that encourages kindness, honesty, humility, and patience. It advises against arrogance, deceit, and anger. It promotes a life led by principles and good deeds, and discourages one driven by greed and selfish desires. Ethics, too, hold a prominent place in the Quran's teachings. It encourages fairness and honesty in all dealings, whether personal or professional. It urges respect for others' rights and properties, and denounces any form of exploitation or oppression. The Quran is also a spiritual guide, helping followers to cultivate a deep, personal relationship with God. It encourages contemplation and introspection, fostering a sense of inner peace and fulfillment. It teaches that true success is not material gain, but spiritual growth and the attainment of God's pleasure. But perhaps the most beautiful teaching of the Quran is its emphasis on compassion. It urges its followers to show kindness to all of God's creation, human or otherwise. It promotes a sense of brotherhood and unity among all people, regardless of race, color, or creed. It teaches that respect for all life is not just a moral duty, but a spiritual obligation. The Quran's teachings form the moral compass for Muslims, providing guidance in all aspects of life. Its wisdom transcends time and culture, offering timeless lessons of love, peace, and justice for all. Prophets hold a special place in Islam, acting as messengers between God and humanity. They are revered figures selected by God to deliver his divine revelations, guiding humanity towards righteousness and moral virtue. In the realm of Islam, prophets are not seen as divine themselves. Rather, they are ordinary human beings who lived extraordinary lives, chosen for their moral and ethical standing. Their role was to act as a conduit, delivering God's messages and teachings to humanity, showing them the path of righteousness. The most esteemed among these prophets is Muhammad, the final prophet in the Islamic faith. Born in Mecca in the 7th century, Muhammad's life and teachings form the bedrock of Islamic belief and practice. His life is seen as an exemplar of moral and ethical conduct, and his teachings, recorded in the Quran, serve as a guide for Muslims across the world. Muslims believe that Prophet Muhammad received the final and complete revelation from God, which is encapsulated in the Quran. His life, teachings, and actions are deeply studied and followed by Muslims, providing a practical example of how to lead a virtuous life. Muhammad's life was marked by his commitment to social justice, equality, and compassion. He advocated for the rights of the poor, the marginalized, and the oppressed. His teachings emphasized the importance of charity, humility, and brotherhood. These principles form the core of Islamic ethics and guide Muslims in their daily lives. The prophets of Islam, particularly Muhammad, are seen as a beacon of moral guidance. Their teachings and their actions serve as models for Muslims everywhere. They exemplify the principles of justice, compassion, and humility that are at the heart of Islamic faith. The role of prophets in Islam goes beyond simply delivering God's messages. They exemplify the ideal way of life, providing a practical and moral blueprint for Muslims to follow. Their lives serve as a testament to the strength of faith, the importance of ethical conduct, and the pursuit of justice. The life and teachings of the prophets, particularly Muhammad, are a source of inspiration and guidance for Muslims. Islam is not just a personal faith. It has profound implications for society as well. Like a river that meanders through a landscape, shaping and being shaped by the terrain, Islam's teachings flow through the social fabric, influencing norms, laws, and interactions. Take a moment and imagine a society where the principles of justice, equality, and charity are not just ideals but the very bedrock upon which all else is built. That is the vision of Islam. A beautiful vision, isn't it? At the heart of this vision is justice. Justice in Islam is not just about punishment, but the prevention of wrongdoing in the first place. It's about creating a harmonious society where everyone's rights are respected and no one is left behind. This principle permeates the social and legal structures of Islamic societies, from interpersonal relationships to the administration of law. Next, we have equality. Islam emphasizes that all humans are equal in the eyes of God, regardless of race, gender, social status, or nationality. The noblest among us, according to Islam, are those who are most righteous. This spirit of equality fosters a sense of shared humanity, breaking down barriers of privilege and discrimination. Finally, there's charity, a cornerstone of Islamic social teachings. It's not just about giving money. It's about giving of oneself, one's time, one's effort. The act of giving in Islam is seen as a form of worship, a way to purify one's wealth and to help those less fortunate. It's a powerful tool for social cohesion and combating poverty. In essence, Islam is more than rituals and personal piety. It's a comprehensive way of life that seeks to infuse every aspect of society with moral and ethical values. It's about building strong, cohesive communities anchored in principles of justice, equality, and charity. So when we talk about Islam, we're talking about a faith that shapes societies, that molds our interactions, that influences our norms and laws. Islam seeks to foster a society rooted in justice, compassion, and mutual respect. And that's a conversation worth having. Unfortunately, misconceptions about Islam abound. It's time to set the record straight. One of the most common misconceptions about Islam is its alleged oppression of women. This couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, the Quran and Hadith, The Holy Scriptures of Islam promote the rights, respect, and dignity of women. Khadija, the first wife of Prophet Muhammad, was a successful businesswoman, which underlines the importance Islam places on women's rights and independence. Moreover, the Prophet himself is reported to have said, "The best of you are those who are best to their women." Another widely held misconception is that Islam promotes violence. However, the Quran clearly states that killing one innocent person is like killing all of humanity, and saving one life is like saving all of humanity. This strong emphasis on the sanctity of life underscores that violence is not an inherent part of Islam. Furthermore, the concept of jihad, often misunderstood as a call to violence, actually refers to a struggle or striving in the way of God, which can take many forms, including seeking knowledge, helping others, or striving for personal betterment. Yet another misconception is that Islam is intolerant of other religions. But the Quran clearly states, "There is no compulsion in religion," affirming the freedom of belief for all. Moreover, Islamic history is replete with instances of Muslims living peacefully alongside people of other faiths, respecting their rights and religious practices. It's essential to remember that the actions of a few individuals don't represent the beliefs of over 1 billion Muslims worldwide. Just as with any faith, there are variations in interpretation and practice among Muslims. The vast majority are peaceful, law-abiding individuals who seek to live their lives in accordance with the principles of love, justice, and mercy that are central to their faith. Understanding the true teachings of Islam can help dispel these misconceptions and foster a more nuanced view of the faith. Islam is a rich and complex faith with a deep history and wide-ranging influence. It's a belief system that's defined by its 5 pillars, each one a testament to the faith's emphasis on community, charity, faith, prayer, and self-discipline. The teachings of the Quran, the Holy Book of Islam, offer guidance and wisdom, shaping the morals and ethics of its followers. The role of prophets in Islam is significant. Acting as messengers of God, they brought divine revelations to humanity. Islam doesn't exist in a vacuum. It interacts profoundly with society, influencing culture, politics, and social norms. It's a faith that's often misunderstood and misrepresented. Common misconceptions about Islam can distort our understanding, but by engaging in informed dialogue, we can dispel these fallacies. With an understanding of Islam's principles and teachings, one can appreciate the depth and beauty of this faith that touches the lives of over 1 billion people worldwide.